Okay, so here we are with part 2 of a tutorial video series on Renegade X and how to not suck at it. This video in particular is going to be focusing on the fundamentals of rushing, counter-rushing, and defending yourself against both as GDI infantry. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and see how we get this started. Pound for pound, the best units for taking out the harvester or buildings are going to be engineers. But you can't have a rushing squad entirely filled with engineers because you guys get slaughtered. So your best alternative is actually going to be a mixed squad, but in particular, you're going to want several units of grenadiers for GDI or flamethrowers for NOD. Of course, you can't go at it alone because you'll be killed by counter-rushing defenders. Now, in early game rushing, you have two options. You can either focus on an enemy building and try to take it out, or you can focus on the enemy's economy, crippling them early in the game to keep them from buying advanced units and armor. Your most basic defense against rushing, where you will keep the harvester alive and repair it from a likely early rush from the opposing team, in addition to regular mundane engineering duties. Personally, I'm in the camp that's in favor of mining the tunnels as GDI. I say this because this access point is actually one of the easiest methods of gaining entry into your base, and if undefended, is an open invitation for stealth black hands to make their way into your base and wreak havoc in all shape or form, whether it be traditional means or by planting a few nuclear strike beacons. Now, most maps will have a mine limit, so you want to be careful to pay attention to where you put your mines. In this case, you want to go ahead and do mine the staircases that lead to the roof of the buildings, in addition to the building entrances themselves. Planting mines is more of an art that requires a bit of finesse and technique. You want to have a tight formation of mines put down, in addition to being large and spread out enough to where it covers the entire entry. Let's take a moment and admire this near-perfect placement of mines. Yeah, that's nice. This is more of an aside here, but I've noticed that people have not been taking of the side exits flanking each side of the base, so I'm going to pay them a little visit. Now, one thing to notice, while you do have a mine limit that you do want to keep in mind, you can actually use mines as an offensive weapon in addition to defensive. For example, placing mines at the entrance of the enemy building that you are currently trying to sabotage in an effort to cover your tracks and maybe get 1 or 2 free kills. And once again, remember that those exits flank both bases, so you can actually take that least used exit and run away to survive to sabotage another day. You can actually use armor to exit the base from these locations and possibly flank any enemies that may be attacking the main entrance of the base. Now, you don't have to rely on the enemy leaving a stealth tank in your base to go ahead and charge one of their buildings. In fact, the Armored Personnel Carrier, or APC, for both factions is quite capable of carrying a full APC full of engineers, is a devastating weapon that can nearly guarantee take out a building. In this case, I'm using my hot wire to pay a visit to the enemy's power plant, mine the entrance just in case anybody tries to come in, and get in my little hidey hole here to take out the enemy power plant. While it does come in handy, you may want to think of the Orca more as a fast-moving transport vehicle than an offensive weapon. While the missiles do deliver a devastating punch to armor and buildings, and machine gun can come in handy, they are really just not that great. But when used in a skilled player's hand, can make for an especially devastating and quick transport solution to the enemy base, wherein you can wreak all kinds of havoc in the form of saboteur from the inside, or dropping a beacon on the roof of the building. Okay, I've been seeing people do this. You've got to stop this. Don't mine the entrance to the bases. Don't mine to the entrance of the bases. This doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. Look, it's so far apart, and it does near zero damage to vehicles. I mean, what's the point? And you're sticking, like, remote mines there, too. I mean, you're gonna plan for this kind of head? And look at that, just timed mines, too! You people, it doesn't work. Stop it. Just do us a favor. Don't do that.